Hi. Now we're going to look at basic class to database mapping. We call it mapping. It's basically how our data stored, and to give you a quick explanation of how things relate between the things that you see in the MDriven designer and how it's stored in a SQL database, because everything is stored in a standard SQL database. I have my MDriven designer and I have this little model about a family, and I have my debugger and it's running against my MDriven server. And at the bottom here I have LinkPad, and I've downloaded the database. The database compact.sdf is downloaded by using the cloud connection and the snapshot and download functionality. So when I've downloaded that, I can open it in LinkPad, and you can find in the wiki how to do that. And now I'm going to show you how this small description of the family has turned into the same tables in the database. So we have persons, and persons can be specified to be adults and children, and every person can have one family. The family have family members. An adult has children, but a child in this model can only have one parent. It's obviously not correct, but we'll keep it like that for the simplicity of the model. Now, every class, we call them class or information store or something, is turned into one table. So if we look here in the database, you have for each class here, you have tables. You have the family, you have the persons. Easy enough. And then we have stored some base data in here. So if we look here in the debugger, we can see that there are adult, child, family, and person here too. If we double click on the person, you'll see that they're all here. You have two adults and we have two children. We have Peter, Susan, Gretchen, and Bob. In the Johnson Anderson family, and they have some varying last names. Okay then. So in person we store first name, last name, and sex. And then in this more specific class, adult, we store profession, and for children we store the favorite color. So here if we look in the debugger, we have person class. They are both adults and child, and it ends over here with family. That is, we point to the family. A person object knows nothing about profession and favorite color. But there are actually no person objects or person rows here in the debugger, because they are either of adult or child type. And that means if we go and look at the adults, well, they are the same, because these two are the same, but now the framework knows that it can also show the profession. So an adult row or object, a row in the database, an object in memory. The adult object includes profession, sex, last name, first name. And that's what we are seeing here in the debugger. If we look here in the database, in the SQL Server, you'll see that if we look at persons and we look at them, you'll have first name, last name, and sex. And you'll have the family ID here instead, not as pretty as up in the debugger for MDriven, because there it knows how to display the real family name. Now, so when we look at the adults, we can combine the persons table with the adults table. So if we take those, you see here's profession stored. So the adults table and the persons table are combined when we're showing adult up here. Same then goes for child. If we look at the children here, they have their favorite colors here. The persons tables does not include the favorite color, but the child table includes the favorite color. Although I downloaded this copy before I updated their favorite colors, so here they don't have one. This is not an online database. I downloaded it. Now, if we look at families, you have the name really, and then you have MDriven specific internal stuff on top of it. That's the name. So the link between person and family, how is that implemented? How is that made possible? Well, it's quite easy. If you look at the persons table, you'll have the family ID. So if we look at that one, you have the family ID, which I pointed to before. You have family ID 3 here. And now if we go and look at the families, you have family ID 3, which is the Johnson-Anderson family. Simple enough. So that's all there is to it really. Every class maps to a table. Every object of that class is stored as a row in the database. And what the framework does is combining the tables and loading them into memory for you. And you can focus on your information instead of, for example, the IDs and all this other technical stuff. Thank you for now.